Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 2021 Toyota Raize. Up front is a 1.0 liter turbocharged inline 3, and down below is a CVT. Now I am super excited to be driving this Toyota Raize because, well, we don't get it in the United States. This is a vehicle for Japan. This is a very, very global vehicle, and so I'm excited to share with you something that we don't get in the States, and there's a good reason for it. But if you'd like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. But let's get back to that 1 liter turbo under the hood. Well, it makes almost exactly 100 horsepower. It is not a very sporty engine. However, there's a good reason for that. Here in Japan, you are taxed on your vehicle due to the engine's displacement. The bigger engine you have, the more money you're going to pay in taxes. And so the name of the game is to have a smaller engine to keep that money down. Now later, the Raize did get a 1.2 liter naturally aspirated engine, but this is the cheaper one to have. Now, like I said, paired to it is a CVT. This is Toyota's bread and butter globally. Cars in the States get CVTs, cars here get CVTs. And so nothing really new. And it works well in this application. You know, this is a more economically friendly application. And so the CVT works. You don't really need much more. Last but not least, this Toyota Raize is front wheel drive. However, you could find them in all wheel with the bigger 1.2 liter, but this is just the front. How does it feel to drive the Toyota Raize? Very, very simple and very basic. At normal speeds around town, it's a pretty solid driving experience. I don't really need anything else besides this, especially in Tokyo here. It is so congested. The space that you have to move around is so limited that you don't notice it. But getting this out onto the country roads, talking to the owner, Yuki, he says that's where it kind of starts to fall apart. Up at, 70, 80, 90 kilometers an hour, yeah, it starts to get a little hairy. But again, this is more of a city vehicle. It's definitely an affordable vehicle, an economically based vehicle, and so you'd feel that here. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 2 physical gauges and a little screen. Off to the left is my tachometer. In the center is the screen, and off to the right is the speedometer. On the steering wheel, we do get skip track, volume, and phone options, but off to the right, we just have a single power button for, of course, the radio. Off to the right, we do have a climate control vent as well as a pop-out cup holder. So we will do a big friggin' bottle test. However, it fails, sadly, but it's still cool. You get a little pop-out cup holder. I like that feature a lot. Down below that, you do get traction control off, you get your headlight leveler, auto start stop on and off, and moving out of the door, you get the power mirrors and power windows. Moving into the center, we do have our infotainment display. This does have a backup camera, which is very nice. However, here in Japan, you don't really use this screen all that much. Most people still use their phones connected to a suction cup mount or mounted somewhere in the vehicle, and so these screens are just not very useful. They're not very good either. They're not great to use because no one uses them, so why put effort into them? You know, it's kind of one of those chicken or egg scenarios. Down below that, we do have 2 climate control vents, we have a hazard switch, and our climate controls. Very basic here, where to send it off to the left, fan speed in the center, and temperature off to the right, along with the start-stop button. Then we do have a 12-volt outlet and 2 USB, and the shifter. The shifter is very nice, very cool. The shifter is nice, calm, collected, works well. You can plus minus it if you want, but nothing really crazy beyond that. And then we do have an aftermarket cup holder here in the center, as well as the handbrake and center console. The seats are fine. They are this sort of cheapo leather material-ish. They're not that great, but again, the name of the game of this car was affordability, and it works really well here. So they hold me within the car, and that's all I can ask. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, getting into the back of a Toyota Raize. What a fun opportunity here. Close the door up, and as you can see, very, very basic seats, nothing interesting here. We don't even get a center console or anything like that. We do get 2 USB-A chargers down here. Very, very nice to see that. Not all cars have that, and on an economy vehicle like this, very, very cool to see that. We do get some seat back pockets here. some cleaning supplies, some Japanese cleaning supplies. Absolutely love that. But the biggest thing, the biggest take-home thing is, look, knee space not hitting the seat in front of me. Headroom not hitting the ceiling above me. And I'm a big American guy. I don't always fit in Japanese cars, and especially K cars are very, very crammed. And so this, I mean, this is a huge step up over a traditional K car. You can actually take 4 people in this vehicle, and it's gonna be comfortable enough. It's not going to be sacrificing. I don't have to sit like this for 3 hours across, you know, the island. I can actually fit. And so that is a huge leg up over buying this as opposed to a K car. Is a K car gonna be more affordable? Of course, but this is nicer than that. You know, this sacrifices a little bit less than what some of the K cars do. And that is just absolutely huge, figuratively and physically. So very, very cool. Speaking of space, however, let's hop into the back and take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space. All right, coming around the back of the Toyota Raize, there is a button here to pull it up. And here we go. This is a tremendous, and I mean tremendous jump over the K cars that you will find. This is so much more space than that. Once we do get in here, we get a little light, and that's pretty much it amenities wise. However, this is so usable, and this is where a car like this with the 1-liter turbo, still affordable, but is just better than K cars because it actually has usable space for drivability, for daily ability, for livability. This is 100% the way to go. Now, of course, if you live in Tokyo or something like that, you're down on space, a K car might be better for you. But if you live a little bit outside of Tokyo, you have a driveway or a spot that you can park in, this is going to be better because you're going to be able to haul a lot more stuff. And if we come around here, we can open up this side door, pull the handle here, and it does fold down. So you get even more storage. Again, something that the K cars don't really have. So very, very cool here around the back of the Toyota Raize. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and again, this is sort of a very basic Toyota. It's not striking in any way. It does bear a little bit of resemblance to the CHR that we did get in the States. However, this actually is a rebadged vehicle. This is also sold as the Daihatsu Rocky, and in some very select markets, it is sold as the Subaru Rex, not WRX, REX. So, Subaru and Toyota partnership actually does bleed into this vehicle offered as a Subaru as well. I think it's fine. I think it's very bland and basic and not really an eye catcher, but definitely something special to an American, and we don't get them. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving a Toyota Raize here in Daikoku, just outside Tokyo, Japan? Well, this has been a really interesting look. This is one of the most basic baseline cars you can get here in Japan that's not a K car. K cars are these tiny little vehicles that you see all over the place. Those have their own tax bracket, they're even cheaper, but you do sacrifice a lot of interior space. This is the first vehicle where you could kind of get up to, hey, this is usable. I can take people in the back seat and they don't have to cram themselves. And that's really nice. But again, it still has that 1-liter turbo, so you're not paying an arm and a leg. The owner said it's about $560 a year to register the vehicle, which is still a lot. That's definitely a lot comparatively to the United States, but that's cheap compared to other vehicles that you'll find here in Japan. The big 4.6-liter Lexus and Toyota products are an absolute fortune to register every year. And so this is a way that you could own a car that's bigger than a K car, a little bit more comfortable than a K car, but again, you're still not breaking the bank. And that's really, really special. All in all, I've just been super, super excited to drive something that we don't get in the States and take a look at what an economy car looks like over 8,000 miles away from my home in a different country, in a different continent, on the other side of the world. This is a common sight here in Japan, and so I'm always interested in seeing these vehicles, and that's why I was excited to share with you, my mostly American audience, what this car is. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Yuki for letting me borrow his Toyota Raize for today's video. Yuki's been absolutely wonderful to work with. So thankful he met me out here at Daikoku in Japan. What a special, special video, and Yuki is a special, special person. So thank you very, very much, Yuki. My trip here to Japan was made possible by JDM Imports. Go to collectiblejdm.com if you would like to bring home your own slice of Japan, whether it's one of their vehicles in their inventory or if you would like to source and find the perfect vehicle in Japan and bring it to the United States. You can do all of that through collectiblejdm.com. So thank you, JDM Imports, for making this trip to Japan possible. Click the link in the description below. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.